Sup witches, Celeste Silvercord here, just bringing you a special edition of some story time. I would like to explain Chiron and the Wounded Healer a little bit more. Alright? So Chiron is going retrograde today, and Chiron in Aries is all about being unable to process emotions. I mentioned that in the video this morning. I had issues when I was younger, and I had a very unhealthy way of processing emotions because I did not know how to process emotions properly. I didn't sit with them. I did nothing. I just sketched bad things out of my mind and kept on rolling, and I did pretty dramatic things in order to try to force heal myself as quickly as possible from scenarios instead of just actually sitting with them and healing. So I went ahead and I made sure that I got all my notes here so that I get this story right. Because I think this is important. I think this is going to resonate with a lot of you guys. Now, Chiron, you guys know, is called the Wounded Healer. All right, so he is the son of Kronos, Saturn, and a nymph called Philyra. And now, Kronos, just like Zeus, just like all the other asshole gods, had wanted Philyra. He was looking for Zeus to eat, and instead he stumbled upon this nymph, and she didn't want him, and she tried to run from him. She turned herself into a horse and ran. He turned himself into a stallion and raped her. So when when Chiron was born, he was born a centaur. And not only was he born a centaur, he was also born of rape. And his mother abandoned him because she was disgusted by him. That was an initial core wound he received at birth for no fault of his own, right? Abandoned by both parents. One parent will eat you, and the other one is so upset by what was done with her and the fact that you came out deformed that she doesn't want anything to do with you. You feeling it? All right. So he was then taken in by Apollo, which was his nephew, but he was older than him, so it was weird. The Greeks are weird. Anyway, he was taken in by Apollo, and Apollo taught him taught him archery, he taught him poetry, he taught him prophecy, he taught him healing, he taught him, if you studied Apollo, Apollo was the bringer of all knowledge, and he shared this with Chiron, and he educated him, and he taught him how to do all this, and then Chiron went out to teach people as well. He was sharing the knowledge with humans and other gods in his situation. Now, Chiron, with his unique birth, ended up befriending Hercules, who was very much of a similar birth. Zeus took advantage of his mother and had Hercules. So Chiron kind of felt they were family, And he took in Hercules and he mentored him. And he taught him archery and healing and, in learning healing, she learned poisons too. And Hercules had a problem with a band of centaurs that he was always fighting, and Chiron helped him derive poison from the hydra's blood to poison arrows, so that when shot with these arrows, you would receive a wound that would never be able to heal and would be excruciatingly painful until you died. So these two go out, and they're battling with the centaurs. And since Chiron looks like a centaur, he got mixed up in the battle with the enemies, and Hercules accidentally shot him in the leg with one of his own arrows. Shot by his own arrow, by his best friend. Second core wound. So now, Chiron, who's the son of Kronos, he's an immortal, has a wound that will not heal, is excruciatingly painful, and he cannot die. So Hercules, ever the helper, and his friend goes out to find a solution to help his friend. And what he comes back with is Prometheus. he comes back with how to free Prometheus. And Prometheus is the god who stole fire from Olympus and gave it to the humans, and Zeus punished him by chaining him up, and every day Zeus's eagle would come and eat Prometheus's liver, and every night his liver and his wounds would heal back up, and the next day, and it would just go over and over and over again. So Chiron could really empathize with Prometheus's pain. Now, the only way to heal Prometheus is if an immortal goes to Tartarus and gives up their immortality for him. So he does it. He goes to hell and he gives up his immortality so that he can die and Prometheus can finally be free of a similar cycle. I just felt that was really important to share with you guys since Chiron is going retrograde today. Core wounds, baby. Abandonment, backstabbed, wounded by your friends, even if it was by accident. All these things that we bottle up, that is what the Chiron retrogrades and what Chiron itself brings out in people when it's transitioning your sign. For Aries, sorry guys, I know this just happened in 2018, but yeah, it's going to be retrograding in our sign until like December. So yeah, and Aries brings out a lot of relationship issues and things like that. The last time Chiron kept cycling in Aries like this, divorce rates skyrocketed and stuff like that. A lot of relationships ended. I know a lot of people broke up with their partners in 2018. A lot of that had to do with Chiron retrograding in Aries. So yeah, I thought that was an important story to share with you guys. Myths and legends have their place for a reason. So let's see what the cards have to say. Don't mind me, I have to sit over here because it is hot as Tartarus here. Oh, it's like 95 degrees outside. I don't know. They don't even have a pool. Their kids are outside just jumping on a trampoline in the sun. I'm like, oh my God, how are you guys not melting? I can't do it. Summers are so rough down here. So, like I was saying, this is going to be a lot of wound healing for people going on over the next 6 months. And I keep telling you, like December, all the retrogrades with Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto, and all of them are still around there. And now Saturn's also retrograde with Chiron. What's up, boo?
Were you on a video?
I am doing a video.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Oh, you're good, baby doll. You're good. What you doing? You done eating? Did you clean up your mess?
Yeah.
You put all the food away? Thank you, boo. Isn't they sweet sometimes? Sweet. My little Capricorn Aquarius cusp baby. Love that freaking kid, man. So, where was I? Chiron and Aries and the retrogrades. And let's see if we can get a card to get me back on track here. So ADHD, you can't distract me at all. They know it too. That's why he was like, I'm so sorry. Because usually I'll just delete it and do it over again. But I'm trying to, I want to start going live more. So I've just been recording and putting them out. All right. For those of us wounded warriors, which the wounded warrior number is 154. So if you've been seeing 154 a lot, this is a big one for you. This is the universe trying to tell you that you have a core wound you're not addressing. And you need to, because you can't ignore it. Ignoring it is what makes it so painful whenever it pops back up. That's what triggers are. Triggers are nothing but unresolved core wounds. And we've all got certain ones that trigger us. I mean, you guys have heard me. Literally, complaining about my mother isn't that not the definition of fucking childhood core wounds? So of course she could press my buttons. She programmed them. Ace of Wands. You really need to just keep a focus on where your passion really is and where your intuition is pulling you. And if you really want to let go of those toxic connections, you got to sit with the wounds and you got to process, through the anger of it, you know what I'm saying? And try to see all the perspectives and try to wrap your mind around what you learned. If you don't feel like you learned anything, then you learned something to watch out for next time. You learned what a red flag was. Or, we all learn something from everybody. Everybody, every day you run into can alter your path in just the slightest ways. Ace of Cups showed itself again today. That was Ace of Wands. Ace of Cups just showed itself. We'll see if it comes back out. But definitely keep an eye on where your passions lie, where your heart really lies, and where your emotions are. I mean, that's it. Fire energy, guys. Like, where does your mind keep going back to? Why does it keep going back there? If it's someplace painful, you got to figure out. And this came out reversed. The Hanged Man. This person... Are they mixed up on this deck? No. This person is meditating when it's upright. They are stuck, but they are sitting with it. This way, you're stuck, but you can't get unstuck because you're not sitting with it. You're pretending like it's not there. You're projecting onto other people. You are focusing on everybody else's wounds, trying to heal everybody else. Don't tell me you're not. If you think you're a light worker or a starseed or an indigo, you feel like you came here to heal people. And we all have a major, major problem with worrying about healing everybody else and not healing ourselves. That's what these retrogrades are for. You gotta sit with it, and you gotta find a healthy way to process this stuff. I mean, I don't care if you write a letter and then burn it. You don't have to read it, you don't have to send it, you don't have to, but you do need to sit with it, and you need to get the emotions out. I mean, you'd be surprised. It could take you sometimes it'll take you 3, 4, 5 times to write a letter. Four of Wands. Reversed again, guys. You're not being true to yourselves. If you're in a lot of pain, if you're in the wounded warrior pain, and this Chiron retrograde is bringing up this pain for you, it is because you're not sitting with it, you're not healing it, you're not resolving it, and you're not being true to yourself. It's very important. You have to be true to what it is you're doing. You have to know your truth too. Like I said, it's all intuition, guys. I mean, you know it, you feel it when it's right? And nobody else has the answer for you. Everybody else can offer you advice and they can give you techniques, but nobody has the answer for you. You have that answer. Your higher self, your guides, your spirits, they're telling you the answer. They're telling you the answer, and if you're in a lot of pain, it's an answer you don't want to hear. Chiron didn't want to die. He didn't want to die. He didn't want to be in pain anymore either. And he found a way to get out of pain and save somebody else at the same time. And sometimes when we're stuck in like a toxic connection or we're stuck somewhere we're not supposed to be, we are so wrapped up in our own pain that we do not realize that it's just as toxic and hurtful and everything else to the person you're stuck with. And that's why they're being extra toxic, because they know it too. And any of you who have dabbled in love magic to start your relationships, I say it all the time, this is the course that takes. Can't start a relationship with a kidnapping. And as far as I'm concerned, love spells are just witches' way of doing date rape. If you have to lure someone in to love you through magic, you don't need magic to make somebody love you. Love's magical on its own. That's the one thing. That's free will, baby. Free will, you're not a tree. You can move, you can go, you can do things. You can build something. Nine of Pentacles. I'm here now. Four of Swords. Recuperate. Think about what kind of life you want for yourself. It doesn't have to be big and fancy, guys. I mean, small little town dream is still a good dream to have. Like, whatever it is you want to do. You want to take care of animals. You want to go volunteer at an animal shelter. If you want to, you can do things. You can. And you can take time to recuperate and heal yourself. Queen of Swords. Just be... So when Snickers had to have his, when he had to wrap up his tail the first time, he nipped at me twice. And that's really the warning that I'm getting with this Queen of Swords. Don't allow pain to cause you to bite people who are just trying to help you. Oh, trust me, I know. I know. I'm a triple fire sign. I am notorious for knee-jerk reactions and snapping back and biting back at people. Women in my family, just in general, we are notoriously, we're New York Italians. We're notorious with our words, man. We'll insult you with eloquence. Have you questioning your whole life with an insult. I mean, I guess that's part of my path and why I'm here, and that's what I'm supposed to do to some degree, but at the same time, it definitely is something that I recognize I need to work on, and I have been. Am I perfect at it? No. Do I snap during PMS? All the time. All the time. Beauty of being so in tune with the moon and nature, right? Let's see. What kind of magic message do we have just to end this video out? Oh, what we got? Oh, I got a bunch. There we go. First, we got self-confidence, strong belief, and strong... there we go. Sorry, mosquitoes are biting me. I got my little fire thing lit here. Self-confidence, strong belief, and sense of worth, all right? If you're not on your path, you are not going to be confident in anything you're doing. And if you don't know yourself, you can't be confident in anything that you're doing. You need to learn how to love yourself, your flaws, and your best qualities all together. And you need to know your worth, okay? If you're being treated badly, you deserve better. Not so much that you deserve better, you deserve another person who can love you in the way that you need to be loved, because that person cannot do it for you, okay? And you need to start with yourself. Self-love, self-confidence. You gotta love yourself, guys. It's so important. It's so important. The triple spiral. Listening to the divine wisdom and joyful learning of life's lessons. Let me read that again for you. That's a good one. Listening to the divine, wisdom and joyful learning in life's lessons. Understand that everything is a lesson. The master has failed far more times than the novice has ever tried. Ooh. Felix Felicitas, the power symbol to create lucky serendipitous events. Once you were on your path, you loved yourself and you were doing for you and you loved yourself, you put out that frequency of love. And guess what happens? People who love you show up. Apollo mentors come out of the woodwork. Friends, new connections, new lovers. All that comes out. But first you have to be willing to sit with yourself and recognize what needs to change. You can't change anything if you don't change yourself first. And our last one is water. Work with the element of water for healing, purification, and refinement. I don't know if anybody saw me bitching about how I wasn't able to get a nap before. I'm glad I didn't now because I'm doing this with you guys. But yeah, before I came out here, I did a healing bath and shower ritual, and I processed some of my emotions healthily with some self-love. All right, guys. I hope this clarified Chiron for you a little bit. I hope this clarified the wounded healer story a little bit more for you. I hope this helped you, as always. I love you so much. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.